Hey there, everyone. Thanks for listening to Limited Engagement. I'm your host for the show, Jared Duran. My guest on the show today is Stephen Kass, who is the writer and star of Howl Theatre Project's Lavender Was. And we'll get to that in just a sec. So that hiatus, that went on a little bit longer than I expected it was going to. But I did need the break, and I don't know, to be honest, it's kind of hard to get back into it. Not that I don't enjoy doing this show, because I do. I enjoy having the conversations with people. That's all great. It's just, I don't know. I'm just so fucking tired all the time. I know, I've talked about it before, ad nauseum. I don't have to retread all that, but I don't know. I don't have the space. I don't have the time to process things. I feel like raw nerve most of the time now. I just am feeling everything very intensely, and not having the, like I said, not having the time to process. And I know that's, one of the reasons I'm not writing as much. I'm not getting a ton of sleep because I work a stupid shift from 5 a.m. to 2, and it's I don't know. There's a lot of work with these podcasts, and with Hoot and Waddle, there's a lot of work. Well, with work, it's just there's not a ton of time. Which is one of the reasons, I guess. I don't know. So I talked to Stephen Kass. Like I said, Stephen Kass wrote Lavender Was. He's also the star of the show. And it's a great play. I went and saw it in the opening weekend, and it's really something else. First of all, there's nothing that compares to live theater, and that you should be going and experiencing that as much as possible. I think there's just the dynamic, the way the show can change, the way on any given night, one performance is, it's the performance of that time. It's an encapsulation of that moment. You'll never see that exact thing again. So that in and of itself is great. But then this play is, I identified very strongly with the writer, which is the main character in the story. The story is of a writer who's pretty much like losing his shit. He's hitting some dealing with the fallout of a relationship, and something that I don't know exactly, but when these characters manifest themselves in your head, and then this is the manifestation of those manifestations. And it's there's some interesting philosophical questions. I love things that explore relationships like that, because you can never say it all, and it's different for everybody. But yeah, the notion of having that voice in your head that's just constantly telling you that what you're writing is shit, what you're useless, you're all the self-loathing stuff that just feels like it's screaming at you all the time. I'm like, okay, yeah, I've dealt with that. I deal with that. And you know, I don't know, but that outlet of trying to write and create your way out of something, or how to deal with something. I don't know. What do you do when that mechanism stops working like it does, like it did? And this is, I don't know. I talked to Stephen. It was a good conversation. I can tell that we have a lot of things in common. It was, I'm happy he was willing to sit down and chat. And so, as we kind of as I knock the rust a little bit off of doing these intros and get back into it, raw nerve. I hope you enjoy this conversation. You have one more weekend where you can go see Lavender Was. It is playing at Aside Theater, which is over off of 7th Street and around Osborn, just in that plaza where Urban Beans is, near the Urban Outfitters and everything that's on that corner. But Aside Theater is in that parking lot where Urban Beans is. And it's a really cool spot. I liked it a lot. It's the first time I've seen a show there. I will definitely be back to see other shows there. But so you have this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is the 16th, 17th, 18th. Those are the last 3 nights to see Lavender Was. And I do highly recommend it. The performances in it are outstanding. Just to give everybody their dues there. The entire cast is Carrie Fee, who plays the woman, the man of both the actual girlfriend or ex-girlfriend and the manifestation in the writer's head. And then you've got Brandon Johnson, who plays who does a great performance as both the voice of self-loathing and the man in the relationship. Stephen Kass plays the writer, and then you have Steve Wilcox, who does these video contributions, and they're just absolutely outstanding. The evolution of his character in there. And who's also a form of the writer, and it's just an extraordinarily well written play. I can't recommend you go see it enough. 16th, 17th, 18th, Aside Theater. You can go to howltheatreproject.com and you get more details about the show and a link to buy tickets and support local theater. Support experimental theater. And here now is my conversation with Stephen Kass. Just jump into it. Yeah. Pull that mic on in. You can wear the headphones if you want.
Whoa.
Everything should be set up for... Yeah, don't worry about the hair. It's not video. So
that's the only thing I have going for me.
That's my concern now as I near 40 is that that it's starting to go at the front, and that's going to be it. It's all my charm will be gone.
No, you're gonna be so handsome. You're gonna look even more distinguished.
There we go. My uncle seems to get away with it. He just shaved his head, and he's got this beard with the salt and pepper thing. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I could pull that off.
Yeah, a lot of people swing it. I am admittedly terrified of going bald.
It's a thing, right?
Yeah. Just petrified.
When I don't know. I have honestly my have survived on the hair for a really long time, and. It is a terrifying prospect as, I continue to
don't want it to go.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
And it's funny, I've been thinking about when I was younger, I had my hair down to my shoulders.
Mm.
And then, I wanted to look like an adult.
Sure.
So,
that's overrated.
Yeah. Tell me about it. It's the worst thing that ever happened to me. It's not a day that goes by that I don't regret growing up.
Yeah, right?
Someone should have just fucking ended it at 18. And like, dude, it just gets worse.
It does.
Go play in traffic.
And yeah, it's, and unfortunately too, it's like, just within the last couple of years, like I've always looked relatively young, right? And
yeah, I had no idea you're almost 40.
Yeah, it's well, thanks. But I ran into this thing recently, just this year actually, of A, not getting carded anymore, and then B, actually going for my ID and having the person be like, "No, don't worry about it." I'm like, you could just humor me maybe and be like, "Oh yeah, please let me see your ID."
See, I've always gotten around that because I always blame it on the beard. I'm like, oh, well, the beard clearly makes me look clearly above age.
Sure, yeah.
So it's not that I'm too old. It's just...
there you go.
I just look old, but I can take it off at any time and
there you go.
Go back to looking young.
Go to the baby face, yeah. For me, it's the glasses, I think, make me look younger, actually.
All right.
I had to go to the DMV. I'm now, again, of the age where it's been so long that they want me to take a new picture, so I had to do that. And they make you take off the glasses, and they give you the temporary, right? So the picture on the temporary, I'm like, this is the closest I'll ever get to a mugshot. Is how that looks. I look a little rough without the glasses, but yeah.
I don't know that you can take like a government photo ID, photo,
yeah, and
have it look acceptable. I haven't taken a single good-looking one. My passport, I just look so fucking heinous.
Yeah,
I look like I crawled out from a cave.
I'm pretty sure that the person behind the camera takes perverse pleasure in
they
just
have
making
to
you look awful.
Oh, and the lighting is always terrible.
They don't give you any warning. They're like, just look into the circle, bam, and that's
You're done.
That's it. Yeah,
I've known people. They tell them not to smile even.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is fine for me. I fucking hate smiling. Just so goddamn miserable.
I end up getting, it's the closest I get is a sly smirk, maybe. Happiness doesn't really cross the face. It's very rare. But yeah, so now that we've gotten into all that, I was thinking about this. I'm pretty sure that the first time I saw you on anything was at Chris Danowski's house for, I think it was Are You Mad, Ophelia? Yeah,
I was in that. I was one of those Three Stooges.
Yeah.
I was the one who was shirtless. And I was like eating butter. It was disgusting.
Chris, who has now left us for London. Yeah. Not left us completely. Let that, it's like
he didn't pass on to the spirit world.
He has not. Yeah.
He just passed on to the UK.
He might as well have. I mean,
he's a pretty transcendent person.
He is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like our own personal Buddha there for a while.
Well, I mean, he's somebody you can't help but be happy around. His attitude is very infectious, and it can be annoying because I am a very naturally depressive and sardonic, but around him you can't help but kind of like
he is just such a positive person.
What a jackass!
Yeah, what a fucking idiot. Who does he think he is?
Right? Yeah. He thinks he's Chris fucking Danowski.
Thank God he left.
Yeah, UK professor. But so how did you guys like all kind of like come across each other?
I mean, I met all of them through the theater department at ASU.
Okay,
that's how I got to know all of them. And Chris I met for the first time. I went to a staged reading of his with Orange Theater.
Okay.
They were doing a stage reading, and I'd worked with some of those people before, and so I came out and I saw it. And I met Chris there for the first time. And then when they did the full stage version, I actually was in that version. And so I progressively got to know Chris through working with him. And then Jake and Jamie and Beth Ann and William, I've known God for years now. I've been in shows with Jamie prior to Howl and Beth Ann, and